Edit Me Mondays are where I look back at old projects I've created for clients and explain my process and workflow. I'm a senior editor here at Redline Studios Post Department in New York City, and cutting all kinds of projects for the past 2 decades, I've really seen it all. Hopefully, in revisiting these projects of the past, I can help you with any edits you might have in the present or future. Today, we're taking a look back at Drake Passage. A producer had come to me developing a project around a world-class explorer planning to row across the Drake Passage, one of the most dangerous stretches of water on Earth. If you don't know what the Drake Passage is, it sits between the tip of South America and Antarctica. It's where the Atlantic meets the Pacific, and it's brutal. There are huge swells, insane currents, unpredictable weather, and it also plays a role in global ocean circulation. This was basically a rip tape, meaning that the footage was mostly stock footage and ripped clips from the internet, plus low-res Skype interviews. In the development world, this is pretty common. It saves money, it's quick and cost-effective, but as an editor, I never like to use those handcuffs as a means for cutting it any different than I would something that's big budget in Hollywood. The goal for me always stays the same: cinematic, emotional, clear story, and strong message. Whenever I'm posed with a challenge as an editor where I might not have the most beautiful footage, I lean into style and storytelling. The first thing I do on projects like this is I slow down. I study the pitch decks, I learn who the talent is, I watch everything I am given, I find the emotional core, and only then do I begin to work. I don't dive in and just start chopping clips left and right, which is often the way editors work because they feel pressure from above to move quickly. I knew my visuals were limited, so I decided to use a design and pacing element to structure everything around. What was that? A single, thin, geometrical line, just like one might see when in the middle of the ocean looking out at the horizon. It's simple and it's minimal, but it's also very symbolic, and it gives me a basis to work from as an editor. When I work as an editor, I consider myself like a traditional artist, just like a painter who would use positive and negative space and who would use lines, shapes, and contours. I approach editing the exact same way. So, this became the creative through line for my motion graphics, my timing, my scene transitions, everything. If you don't have the fanciest of footage, you have to make your restraints feel intentional, not like a limitation. That's part of the editor's job. All of these creative decisions were born out of the limitations of the video. So instead of me lingering on poorly recorded Skype audio and video, I'm using snappy, digestible, feel-good, premium level graphics that are quick, aggressive, fast, and integrated into the video and the visuals happening behind them. The first shot had this snow-capped mountain, so instead of the classic black letterbox, I decided to go with white. Icy, stark, isolating. It set the tone immediately. For the pacing, the first 30 seconds were all about building. Beautiful visuals, sharp text, strong sound design. Don't sleep on your sound design. It changes everything. Let's take a look at the opening real quick.
1, 0, 0. Houston, Discovery, how do you read? One small step for man.
Drake Passage is the southern tip of South America, all the way down to Antarctica. It's pretty unpredictable. You've got, waves crashing into each other from different angles, 50-foot swells.
Oh, that was close.
It basically makes for some of the most treacherous waters in the world. You're going to see some icebergs and a lot of unpredictable weather.
Every sound you just heard is completely engineered. None of that comes from stock clips or from actual footage. It is all sound design work done by yours truly with multiple layers, just like you would in a major Hollywood film. Just because this is a network sizzle that's on the lower side of budget doesn't mean it has to look like it. Sound design can often be invisible, and that means it's working. Now, Once we've earned the trust and interest visually and through audio, we can then introduce the Skype interviews and take a step back. However, when I decided to start to work the Skype interviews in, I barely stay on the subject. You don't need to hold on this guy sitting in his living room. Show the mission, show the challenge. Give the imagination something epic to run with. Every wipe, crop, and motion you see here is hand-built. These are not templates. They are not plugins. They are just me manipulating keyframes in the effects and motion tabs right inside of Premiere. This is finesse and intention. By the end of the tape, we lean more into the adventure than the character. Not because the explorer is not compelling, but because the idea and the environment should be the stars in this tape. I aim to shift tones or sections every 15 to 30 seconds in a sizzle. I keep the energy up and I keep brains awake. 15, 20, and 30 seconds are perfect intervals to change music, change pace, change subject matter. It's funny, projects like this don't always sell, especially back then. Networks always wanted loud, messy Jerry Springer in a boat type reality. This was thoughtful and courageous, but honestly, I still love this piece. It's clean, it's moody, it's inspired. It's a good reminder that editing is storytelling and not just cutting a bunch of clips. And just because someone might hand you what seems like boring Skype footage doesn't mean you have to cut a boring tape. Set your standards for yourself as an editor high. The quality of footage and the content does not dictate the quality of the edit. Don't forget, this is magic. This is fakery. It should look better. It should be enhanced. It should represent someone to the max, especially in a development sizzle tape. You want to be excited, you want to be moved, and you want to be shaken, not bored to death. I hope you enjoyed this Edit Me Monday, where I took a look back at an old project for a client to discuss the process that went into making the cut. Every edit we break down here is also available to screen in its entirety on our website at www.redlinestudios.net. Do you have an old edit or a current one you're working on that you'd like my thoughts on? Send it to me and I'll feature it here on a future Edit Me Monday video.